Have you ever experienced an unexpected or sudden tightening of your muscles, also known as a muscle cramp or a Charley horse? But what's the difference between a muscle cramp and a muscle spasm? Stay tuned as we unravel what these terms mean in this week's episode. Hi, I'm Dr. J, and welcome to 5 Minute Fridays. I have a background of a master's in human performance / applied sports science and a doctorate in sport and performance psychology. This week's episode is we're going to take a deeper look at what's the difference between a muscle cramp and a muscle spasm and how to prevent or to alleviate some of the symptoms of having a muscle cramp. Let's take a deeper look at what the definition of a muscle cramp is. Muscle cramps occur suddenly, often catching you off guard. They can cause sharp, localized pain in the affected muscle and can last anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes. Commonly, they will occur in your foot, your thigh, or even your calf muscles. Muscle cramps are commonly caused by dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, overuse of your muscles, and even certain medications can trigger them as well. So on the other hand, let's look at muscle spasms and what their definition is. Muscle spasms are involuntary contractions that can be brief or prolonged. They can be subtle twitches or forceful contractions. These are typically going to be caused by overexertion, nerve compression, or underlying medical conditions. And a common example of a muscle spasm would be the ever so popular eyelid twitch. Now that we know a little bit more about what the difference between a muscle cramp or a muscle spasm is, let's take a look at prevention. And prevention is going to be better than a cure, especially when we're able to not even allow ourselves to get in that situation. And yes, there will be times where this may occur, but if we're able to take advantage of the tools and the resources that we have, we can mitigate a lot of the extent of a muscle cramp. It won't take us out of a game. It won't put us at risk for a greater injury, right? And what are our steps going to be to make sure that this happens? This will include making sure that you stay hydrated. Our whole body needs fluids to stay ready and to be able to function optimally. So if we're not drinking our water and not staying hydrated, that's not going to help us in the long run. Electrolyte imbalance. Typically, the electrolytes that we're going to be missing out on are going to be potassium, calcium, magnesium, and occasionally some sodium is going to help in these situations. Also, stretching regularly, right? Let's make stretching a part of our regimen, our daily training. This doesn't mean that we're going to be doing yoga type stretching, but it does mean that we're going to be giving our body a proper warm up and a proper cool down before and after our training sessions so that we're able to move better. We're actually capitalizing on those adaptations that we're utilizing during training. And then making sure that we're having a balanced diet. We want to be eating a variety of foods, making sure that we're getting all the nutrients that we need to help our body function, especially when we're continuing to ask more of it, especially being athletes. We've got higher demands than the typical general population due to our activity levels. And in response to that, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies at a more intense level to match our level of performance. And last but not least, we're going to look at avoiding overuse. Instead of us always using the same muscle group over and over again, we're trying to rotate through different muscle groups that we're utilizing throughout training. If that's not an option for us, we're looking to create balance with our other muscle groups that will be affected by that group that we use specifically, right? So when we think about running, a lot of times the muscles that are going to be on the front side of our body are going to be really strong, but we need to lift and train the muscles on the back side of our body to counteract the strength that we're developing on the front side of our body through the natural running mechanics. And that's not saying that there aren't going to be benefits within the sport and within the training, but all these pieces of the performance picture go together for you to be able to utilize them better to your benefit and for us to be able to prevent the preventables so that you can take action in the areas that you're trying to act on and capitalize there. This is a bonus one. So if you're a heavy sweater or you're in a prolonged activity that might take 30 minutes, it might take a long time. If you know that you're going to be losing a lot of fluid through that activity, consider having an electrolyte beverage. This could be anything from Gatorade, Powerade, BioElite, any of those type drinks that will make sure that you're replenishing some of those salts and some of those electrolytes so that your body can function optimally and make sure that it's circulating well. Because if we don't have enough hydration for our whole body, there's going to be certain processes that are going to get shortcut, and we want everything within our body to be able to function optimally. And if you're unsure of some of those shortcuts, check out our REDS special or check out our hydration special, all part of the 5-Minute Friday series. So now that we know the difference between a muscle cramp and a muscle spasm, or that Charley horse and a muscle spasm, we can move forward with a better informed choice, better responses to those situations, and a better plan for our training moving forward. Please join us again in about 2 weeks as we take on our next sport and performance theme. Once again, I'm Dr. J, and as always, be refined by the grind.